The mentor characters, I think, is the second most important role in the Power Rangers series, just below the Rangers themselves. They guide them on a path and help them through many different types of issues, as Rangers or themselves. They form the core feel of the show and sometimes save the show if the Rangers are weak as characters. Some mentors are parents figures for them, others have their own past and issues.
Mick.
How do I put Mick on the list when only 8 episodes of Ninja Steel have aired? Well, because Mick, even though Ninja Steel isn't a really good season, he's one of the few characters that I could say that works, and I consider him better than Mentor G, Gosei, and Keeper. I hate that I have to include Keeper as one of the bad mentors. Mick, on the other hand, is the glue for everything. He builds all the stuff, explains what he can, guides the Rangers when they do something stupid, plus he can transform into objects, and he's funny. Mick's basically a combination of Zoran, RJ, and Sensei Kanoi, which I like. We don't get that many fun mentors. They usually are serious and dry. I'm not saying those characters are bad, but sometimes you need to be different. A lot of it has to do with Kelson Henderson being a good actor. He saves episodes from being really poor. Overall, he's a simple mentor, but has enough presence and usefulness to the series. I just hope he gets a focused episode in the future. I really got annoyed when Keeper and Kendall got nothing.
Udana.
Udana is a special mentor since she's Nick's mom and is the main focal point in Mystic Force's story. She was the only one left in the magical realm. Remember, everyone else went missing. She's one of the few mentors that's a ranger. She's dealt with all kinds of things, guiding new people, her son and husband were presumed dead, trying to train Claire into a witch. She wore a lot of hats and did so many things. Sometimes you just don't realize it. That's why I liked her. She was basically a teacher trying to show everyone what's good and bad. Don't be lazy with your powers. She lived up to Zordon's teachings.
Daggeron.
I also count Daggeron as a mentor too. Like Udana, he also teaches the Rangers a lot of things. He does it differently. Daggeron trains the Rangers directly, shows examples, even gives them trials to see how they'll handle it. Sometimes not looking good, like when they were stuck without their magic. Another reason, because he's a flawed mentor and he didn't notice it, till the Snow Prince basically forced him to look at Nick. I like mutual teamwork. Daggeron teaches all his knowledge, fighting styles, and magic spells, while the Rangers taught him how to relax and unwind. Yeah, Daggeron was trapped as a frog for a long time, and he was betrayed, but you gotta take a break, and you should think how to try things other ways.
Sensei Kanoi.
I really like Sensei in Ninja Storm. Him being turned into a guinea pig, that never bothered me. Yeah, it was a weird thing to do, but it made Ninja Storm unique. Is it any weirder than a floating blue head or a talking dog? Sensei is very logical. He tries to examine all the options that he has for a situation. He protects his students as best as he could and also accepts people for who they are. Sensei would have never given the Wind Ninja powers to Dustin, Tori, and Shane if they were bad students. He's the only one who knew they had potential to become something great. My favorite part was finding out that Sensei wasn't a calm, logical guy all the time. He was a pretty rude person, very stiff, and he showed off a lot. He acted very similar to Shane, so we got to see the evolution of the character and some of the hard stuff that he had to deal with. The death of his wife is what caused him to be overprotective to Cam. No doubt that if that didn't happen, Cam would have probably been the Red Ranger. Plus, being related to Lothar must make him really upset that his brother can do these evil things.
RJ.
I've talked about RJ in videos before. He gives a lot of life to Jungle Fury. Most of the other characters are, I don't want to call them bland, but they're just there. They rarely get stuff to be funny with. All the other masters are very serious. It always felt to me that Jungle Fury was trying very hard to not be Geki Ranger. Geki Ranger was all over the place with comedy, so they made everyone be serious, and basically had RJ be the genie for Aladdin, while Zoran would be giving some advice on how to defeat a monster or tackling a personal issue with the team. RJ is like your best friend. He teaches everyone in a very simple way. I know you're good, you just need to know yourself. Nothing is impossible. He always keeps the situation positive, doesn't let almost anything get to him. If Casey lost his morpher, he's going to be like, it's okay, everyone makes mistakes, we'll get it back. He's simple, at the same time not. What's nice was that Casey adopted RJ's training methods when he came back in Megaforce. Yeah, wise mentors are great, but when it's done to death, it gets boring. It's why I didn't really care for Demetria. They try to make her different by making her talk in questions. She was still acting like Zoran and not being her own character. RJ was, with weird ways of doing things.
Captain Mitchell.
A mentor that's a regular guy. He has no special powers or is tied to an alien race. My favorite bit was the team was created by the military. It would have been weird that after all these years, no one from Earth would attempt this. Mitchell was a tough leader for the Lightspeed team. He wanted perfection from all of them, Joel being the most problematic. You could see that the captain really wanted to stop the demons since he was getting revenge on what they did to his son. He's not perfect. In some ways, I agreed with his methods. Can you imagine how he felt when Ryan fell? They could have just sacrificed Ryan for some messed up ritual. Mitchell ran on raw emotions, which ended up being an advantage to Lightspeed. That's why I like the character. They took a different route with the show's morals.
Tommy Oliver.
Tommy is what I always wanted done on the show, bringing back an older cast member to help out the current team. This gives the season so many things to do. A free run on nostalgia. It anchors the two seasons together. The new Rangers have experience. No one is going in blind. Tommy knows the monsters get revived, so they have to fight in their Zords. He helped out Trent and gave good reasons to the others to give him a second chance. Plus the bonus of Tommy becoming a Ranger again. For me, I don't even need that. Dino Thunder gave his character a chance to grow and be fleshed out. That was the best thing. Since mentors are in a talkative role, it gave us all these things that happened since he left in Turbo. Each character fed off each other. If Tommy is good, Kira, Ethan, and Connor are good. I really wish this was done more often. I wouldn't want it done every season, but maybe every 4 years they pick someone. I wouldn't really care who they got, as long as they respect what the character did in the past season. They got a focus episode involving their old powers, or wrapping up an old story thread.
Doggy Krueger.
I was really happy we got an alien for a mentor again. I missed that, since it gives the show so many types of directions they can go into. Krueger had a hard life. His wife was presumed dead, so he had a personal grudge against Grum. Krueger closed himself off, which caused him to teach the Rangers hard, to the point of him risking the team getting killed by a monster, and expose a lot of the issues why they were a B squad. Sky wasn't the Red Ranger because he was full of himself, didn't really respect any of his teammates at the start. All of them had some sort of issue, so he tried to help them. I respected Doggy a lot. He tried to make up for past mistakes. The Shadow Ranger powers were something really cool. They put effort into the character, including his design. The show tried its hardest to look believable, go the extra step and say, we're not a cheap show, we can do cool things too.
Zoran.
I'm probably shocking a few of you. Zoran is not my number one. Oh my god, that's blasphemy. How can you do this? I would never argue that Zoran is not an important role in Power Ranger. He totally is. Zoran was the wise mentor for many years. He was the team father figure. He gave out good advice, helped the Rangers to be better people, gave the show's original rules to follow. He sacrificed himself to save the universe. So how can I only put him as number 2? What do we know about him? The one thing the TV series never really did was give a proper pass to him. We know he's an alien from planet Eltar and was stuck in a time warp, but not much else. His backstory was left vague, with only small glimpses used with blurred Jew Ranger footage. That's it. The only time we see him is in the MMPR movie, which is really canon. And another thing that personally bothered me was that Alpha said he was trapped in a time warp, meaning something not normal to him. But no one does anything about it or brings it up. This doesn't mean Zoran was an influential character in Power Rangers. He always will be important. Just his lack of backstory made him a little less perfect, but the new Power Rangers film did correct this mistake.
Dr. K.
I picked Dr. K as number 1 for her being everything. I think she's the most fleshed out mentor the show has ever done. We got backstory that goes right back to her childhood, to her early adult life. We knew how she ticked. She lived such a weird, sad life being used as a material object, which filtered into how she treated the RPM team. She herself ended up doing the same thing to them, not to the extent of being horrible, although you can argue she went a bit far with insults to Ziggy. Kay is a complicated character. After she was scarred by those people, she became reclusive, wore that hood, didn't want to go outside, and even hid who she was from the Rangers at the start. She had to slowly relearn how to be a person again. RPM is the best example of mutual teamwork. Ziggy slowly got to Kay to accept the Rangers were her friends, and Kay was also the one who brought all these people together and saved Corinth, atoning for her mistakes. All the mentors in Power Rangers have their places in the show. Even the crummy ones. We wouldn't know what doesn't work if they didn't fail. Which is one thing that I give this to the series. It's been on for nearly 25 years. It's gonna be hard to come up with new characters without overlapping something from the past. I personally love the more zany mentors. It gives them a bigger presence, or the emotional backstory ones. Who are your favorite mentors? And if you have a suggestion on a future topic, leave a comment below. Next week's video, I'll be covering the dumbest monster motifs Power Rangers have made.